that we've been going through for the last 36 hours. I think that's really the best news. We'll talk about some other things here in just a minute, but I'm going to just quickly hand it over to Carl, who you've gotten to know over the last couple of days, and let him give you some more information about the details and about what to expect and what's happened and what's taken place. And then Assistant City Manager, Deputy City Manager Morris Williams will speak as well, and then we'll wrap it up. We'll try to keep it quick for you to tell you what's going on. Carl?
Well, thank you all for being here. Again, Carl Crago, Utilities Director. Very excited to put out there that the rescinding of the boil water notice happened last night, 2 a.m. What put us to that point is we had to take bacterial samples throughout the city, and those all came back negative, meaning there is no bacteria in the system, and the boil water notice can be rescinded. I have to thank the TCEQ. They were ready and available to talk to us at 2 in the morning on a Friday evening, which is very helpful to get this boil water notice rescinded, and we can move forward and drink your water.
Good.
All right, I just want to have, I have a couple of thank yous. The West Texas Food Bank, Texas Commission on Environmental Quality, which is TCEQ, Texas Department of Emergency Management, Judge Terry Johnson and his staff, Midland County Emergency Management, United Supermarkets, HEB, Market Street, XTO Energy, Midland College, Stonegate Fellowship, First Baptist Church, City of Odessa, and then, of course, the City of Midland employees who worked, 24-hour shifts trying to make sure that this was rectified. Finally, the local press, you guys getting the word out, it was paramount for what we needed to do as far as communicating with our citizens. And speaking of our citizens, the citizens of Midland, everybody coming together as a community, it really made the difference. Our distribution sites yesterday with all the volunteers and handing out the water, it wouldn't have been possible without our citizens. So thank you, thank you.
And I think before we take any questions from you, I just reiterate to all of you out there in Midland, when we go back to what happened in COVID and we were getting used to a crisis and figuring out all the things that we were going to do, the last 36 hours has just been an incredible display of the City of Midland, from volunteers all across the city. As I drove across the city to distribution channels yesterday, from the attitude of people in this community, even our business leaders who it was hurting their businesses, and what we saw on social media, it honestly was just an incredible display of what this community is about, and how people come together and they do whatever it takes. And our businesses that helped out, the Uniteds and the HEBs and the oil companies and everybody. And again, I'll reiterate, all you guys in the press, thank you so much for getting things out. And it was just a great display of what a great community you have. So with that, we're at the other side of this, and we'll take any questions you might have.
Are there going to be any consequences or anything like that for anyone who might have caused this main break of any sort?
Yeah, well, it's a great question about what's going to happen with who did what and all this kind of stuff. Today, all we're going to do is celebrate the fact that we're out of this boil water notice, let our thanks be known, and then beginning this coming week, as you know, we're swearing in a new mayor and we've got a new council being seated. We're going to let our city management get some sleep, get some rest, then we'll come back next week and let them start determining what needs to happen related to how we got here.
And this event that happened and everything like that, the community response and all that, was the city, of course, are there any places that the city thinks they could do even better in, or was everything adequate and if anything ideal?
Well, I think it's always easy to sort of nitpick at some things we could do better, but right now I would stay with your word. It was pretty ideal, the way people came together. We've seen numerous things we've had to deal with, but when something happens like this, the way people stepped up, and as fast as they stepped up, it's really a rare occasion. I hesitate to say that it was ideal, but it was pretty close to ideal.
So what was kind of help that the City of Odessa provided for Midland?
Go ahead.
City of Odessa, first of all, they offered resources. They sent several pallets of water over so we could get it, and that was the first drop of water that went out to our hospitals, our nursing homes, and our elderly. So that was paramount to make sure that they were taken care of first and foremost. So, and then just the fact that their mayor and council spoke to our mayor and council, as well as their city management team speaking to us and saying, hey, whatever you guys need, we've got you.
Their Public Works Director, Tom Kerr, reached out to see if we needed any extra staff to help in this situation, if they needed any crews to come over. We didn't need that, but they for sure reached out and made sure that they had someone available if we needed.
So they reached out to you guys first when it was known about that this was happening, or you guys reached out to them first for any assistance?
Really, it was sort of a mutual collusion. I mean, I made a call to the mayor, they're making calls to us, and multiple calls are occurring in different areas, whether it's in utilities, wherever it is. So once everything starts boiling up, so to speak, which is probably the pun of the day, then all of a sudden phone calls just start happening. So it's not a matter of who did it first or who did it second. Everybody's already in the game.
Carl, Morris, do anybody have any experience with this, going into this, knowing, hey, I'm in this situation now, here's how we get out of it? For something ideal, y'all pulled it off. Like you said, do anybody have any experience with this?
We've had several close calls at the utilities department, and the freeze really put us in this position of knowing what to do in these situations. Luckily, back in February of 2020, when the freeze happened, the City of Midland didn't have to do a boil water notice, but that's what put all of this in place, who my emergency contractors were, who my emergency suppliers were, to get things rolling at a moment's notice.
I think, Stuart, the coordination we learned during COVID was a huge part in how we were able to run things up pretty quick, from Terry Johnson, Judge Johnson calling us early on and saying, I've already signed the emergency declaration, then we signed it, then all of a sudden, we already knew how to bring that emergency management together through nearly 2 years of doing that. So as much as negative as that was, it's put us in a position to know how to operate through this.
Yep. No, I was just gonna echo that. As far as on the management side, we have professionals at every level. When we call the mayor and the council, we're right at the table, so we're right in it. So I don't know how it looked, and I'm glad to hear you say that we did a good job with it, but we're just right in it, and we're going, trust the professionals, get together with the mayor and council, and then we start the wheels to turn.
Anything else? All right, thank you guys. Enjoy your day.
Thank you.
Good job, gents. Good job. Congratulations. Thank you all.
Thanks much.
Yep, safe today. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it, man.
Did you get
Thanks,
your
Stuart.
questions
Oh, did I?
answered,
Was
or
I
did you
gonna
still
do
have
anything
some?
answered?
If possible,
Hey.
it's still good.